Hello YouTube friends, Ben.o.cichlid here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And some of you no doubt have been wondering how the fish that I added directly to this tank behind me here, this 150, how did they end up doing when put in with the fish that turned out to be much larger than the fish that were added. And of course you're probably also wondering, since I didn't quarantine those fish but added them directly to the 150, how they're doing. So let's go ahead and take a look. And here's an update, and let's see if they made it. Let's see how they're doing right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to, if you like this video, hit the like button. Be sure to hit the bell if you'd like to receive notifications when I release videos or do live streams. And thank you for stopping by. You are appreciated. And be sure to give it a sub if you haven't subscribed already. Okay? Thank you so much. Whenever you add fish to an established cichlid tank, you cross your fingers, especially when you have big beasts like that Malawi trout you see there pushing maybe 9 inches, that 8-9 inch Fusco. I mean, these are big fish, and this eye biter here is certainly intimidating. And when you have fish of this type and this size, really adding any fish of any size is a bit of a risk. But putting in fish that are several inches smaller, like this super red Empress, I was really watching things very, very closely. But you can see here, by looking at the side of the body and the fins, despite that Fusco looming over him, this red Empress is doing very, very well, and is actually a bit on the shy side. Usually hangs out in the upper right hand corner of the tank with a few plants between him and the other fish, and I just got lucky and happened to catch him when he was out. The fire hap, I have very high hopes for this fish. Beautiful fish, great markings, and nowhere near as beautiful and as colored up as he's going to be. Perhaps the second most brave of the 4 fish that I put into the tank. He hangs out in the mix, eats very well, gets right in the middle of things during feeding, and is really holding his own. You can see he's kind of husky. He has no problem eating, and is putting on some size and some width. And the red Empress also eats well too, but not quite as aggressively. Believe it or not, the most aggressive, the most comfortable fish in the mix is the smallest of all of them, and that's this Imperial tiger. This is different from a tangerine tiger. He's not going to get the the colors that you see in a tangerine tiger. This guy will be a little bit more on the yellow side eventually when his colors come in, but you can see already he's showing a lot of promise. Beautiful colors in the face, beautiful spots in the body, great stripes, great those tiger stripes that these fish get. And he is the smallest of the 4, but is right in the middle of everything and doesn't really seem to have any fear. You can see the fire hap there getting blown around by the high door power head. I have a very strong power head on this tank, and I was running it on in short timed bursts, where it was on a timer and only running for short periods throughout the day. But I have it running 24/7 now, because I started doing a little research, and I seem to hear from numerous people how having a power head, creating water circulation, can serve as a distraction and help to deter aggression. So maybe that's helping. I'm not entirely positive, but it doesn't seem to be hurting. So you can see there the little Imperial tiger. Very cute, very pretty fish. Lots of promise in that fish. And so, and of course, same with that goes for that fire hap. That's a very big Taiwan reef. You can see he gets into it with some of the other fish. Has a few spots on his side where he's been hit. There's the Johnsoni, the Protomelas johnsoni, who can be actually pretty aggressive, surprisingly, despite the word placid in his name. So, these fish are all considerably larger than the 4 that I added, and there is I had to put them in order. I would say that the tiger is the most acclimated, the least shy, and you can see there the one of the fish hiding back there, and probably one of the most shy is the Borleyi. This is the type of Borleyi that doesn't get red It gets more of a yellow-orange in the body. A very pretty type of Borleyi, and he usually is tucked up in the plants. Very seldom that he comes out. I imagine over time he'll get more comfortable, but looking at his fins and body, he's not really being hit or damaged or harassed. And the same goes really for the red Empress. When you look at him, you don't see really any fin damage. You can see particles floating around in the tank. That's because, of course, I have that power head blowing things all over the place and creating a lot of, it's suspending the particulates, the detritus in the tank. But if you look closely at the red Empress, you'll see there are no marks on the body or on the fins, so he's not getting necessarily attacked or harassed. When you take a close look at these super red Empresses, take a close look at the body. Absolutely gorgeous, just that weave of color that you see throughout the body. Very, very colored up. That's probably about as beautiful as that fish can get. So Josh sent me a really nice one. High hopes also, of course, for that fire hap. Looks like a beautiful, beautiful specimen. Very healthy, great fins, and great potential. So apart from a little shyness, which is to be expected when grouped together with such large specimens as I had in the 150, overall I would say that the addition of these fish has been a great success. So that's the update. As you can see, they're doing great, and I'm really happy with how they're how they're acclimating to the tank and to the circumstances. When you put fish, new fish into a cichlid tank, there's always that that period of adjustment where you hope nobody gets killed or harassed too much. And of course, when you add fish directly to your tank, you're also worrying about the possibility that you may have imported some disease. Fortunately, Josh Davis over at Live Fish Direct sent me a good batch of fish, and there are no indications whatsoever of any kind of disease. And this is in no way an endorsement for not quarantining your fish. Always quarantine before adding to a tank if at all possible. And in my case, because of circumstances, my schedule and other things, I did have to add them directly to this tank. But everything is working out fine. I did do two series of general cure, API general cure to the tank, just as a precaution, and I don't think it hurt anything. But at any rate, you can see everybody's doing well, and I thank you for tuning in. And that's it for me for now. And those of you who hit the bell and are part of that convo gang and get into those discussions below, I appreciate it. And come on by the Facebook group ben.o.cichlid. Great group of fish keepers there, and follow on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid. Okay, that's it for me for now. Thank you so much.